How to identify and overcome the bad habits of reading. In the previous lesson, we have mentioned that there are three major differences between an effective reader and an ineffective one. They are: effective readers have the right mindset towards reading. Effective readers have good reading habits. And finally, effective readers have right beliefs about reading. In the previous lesson, we've covered this part: effective readers have right beliefs about reading. Now it is the time to move to the next difference. Effective readers have good reading habits. Now I'm going to tell you what are the bad reading habits and what to do in order to reduce and even eliminate them permanently. The major bad habits of reading are the followings: regressions and progressions, poor vision span, vocalization and subvocalization, underlining or highlighting, and finally, slow page turning. In this lesson, I'm going to cover the first three major bad habits, and the last two I'm going to cover in the next lesson. Alright, habit number 1. Wasted eye movement, regressions and progressions. How an ineffective reader actually reads. Have you ever observed the average reader's eyes while she or he is reading? If so, you would notice they tend to move across the line of print in a series of short jerks, stopping approximately once for each word. If you watched long enough, you would notice that this jerky movement is interrupted by glances above, below, to the far left and far right, and maybe even totally away from the page. These unnecessary movements are known as regressions, looking back or above, and progressions, looking ahead or below. These movements are unnecessary and waste you a lot of time and energy while reading. Now, how an effective reader is actually reading. If you observe an effective reader, you would notice that there are only very few jerks and his eyes move smoothly and move across the line with only 2 or maybe 3 stops. You would also notice that there are very little regressions or progressions, even at all. Let's talk about how to minimize wasted eye movement. The best way to minimize this habit is simply to stop doing it. The reason why we do regressions and progressions is because we are afraid that we might have missed something while we are reading. Instead, I will urge you to develop this attitude. If I do miss some minor point the first time, I will get it straight and in proper order when I read through the material again, knowing that the material is there with you and you can look back as many times as you want or can. Second, try sliding a blank card or a piece of paper down the page, covering each line as it is read. You are going to use this card as a temporary practice. It should not be used more than a couple of days at best. The second bad habit: poor vision span. An effective reader takes a pause at every word. During this pause, she or he sees and reads the word is looking at. This pause is called fixation. To read faster, the number of fixations or eye stops made per line must be reduced. Now, let's say that you read one word per fixation. With proper training, your vision span has increased and now you start seeing 2 words per fixation. It means that now you have doubled your reading speed. Now, to reduce the number of fixations, it is necessary to train the eyes to see a larger area of the page each time they stop or fixate. With proper training and practice, it is possible for any individual with normal vision to increase the vision span. In the future lessons, I will share with you exercises and drills, but I want to give you this information gradually. The third habit: vocalization and subvocalization. An important bad habit to get rid of, and I'm going to cover it in the next lesson. The fourth bad habit: underlining and highlighting. Underlining or highlighting is both an unnecessary and a time and energy wasting practice. You shouldn't do them while reading. While reading, your focus should be only on understanding the text, and you should ignore everything else. On the other hand, if you find a really important concept and you want to underline or highlight it, then place a light mark on the margin of the page. You can come back to these marks in the later stages. But if you stop for underlining or highlighting, your focus on the next text is improved and it saves a lot of time in the long run. The next bad habit: slow page turning. The faster you turn your page, the less time is wasted. Ineffective readers take up to 4 seconds a page to turn a page and resume reading. At this speed, you are wasting 13 minutes on a 400-page book just to turn the pages. Imagine this: you could have read more than 20 pages in those 13 minutes. How to turn pages? If you want to reach a greater efficiency while turning pages, read with the book flat on the surface of a desk or table. The moment the eyes begin reading the left-hand page, you should feel out with the thumb and forefinger of the right hand the next single sheet. Doing so, you will assure avoidance of the frustrating mistake of turning more than one sheet at a time. As soon as you finish reading the right-hand page, flip the paper quickly and, if necessary, use the fingertips of the left hand near the bottom to hold down the newly turned page. Repeat this process immediately. Now, which are the action steps to follow? First, after finishing this video lesson, please select a non-fiction book to read. Read at least 5 pages and observe all the bad habits I have mentioned. How many bad habits of reading you are doing? And the second action step, make a decision to work at least 30 minutes every day to overcome these poor habits. In the end, if you have any doubts or you want more clarifications or information, please open a discussion. I really enjoy answering the questions and I'm here to help you. Thank you very much and see you in the next lesson.